Discontinued
Gravy.
gravy.
Give me your
Discontinued gravy.
Goal to simplify life and make it fun.
Because we've been there.
I mean, we're in our mid-20s.
So we've seen it all.
This is
Discontinued.
Gravy.
Pow, pow, pow.
We're back. It's again. It's a thing. We do this every week. You love it.
You guys know the drill.
I mean, I think people do like us. I think we're pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to tell everyone now because I was telling Nick beforehand. Everyone knows that Nick and I do this podcast for ourselves. But I went to a engagement party for a good friend. Met someone there that I've never met before. And they told me they listened to our podcast.
Hell yeah.
I was like,
Hell yeah.
What?
It's cool when, like, you don't bring it up. Like, you know, sometimes you bring it up, like, oh, do a pair, oh, like, you know, Discontinued Gravy. You're like, oh, yeah, you mentioned that before. I listened to it. You know, it's one thing to, like, mention it and then they go listen to it. But it's one thing, like, you haven't mentioned it at all. Like, how would they even found it?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I guess they heard that, like, one of the groomsmen in the party, fiance, has a podcast. So the person was like, oh, I'll go listen to it. You know what? You're awesome.
All of a sudden, you're the most famous person at the party.
Yeah, absolutely. It was great. We were talking. They're like, you have a podcast, right? I'm like, I didn't even have to bring up that I have a podcast. What?
That's kind of neat, actually.
Where's my personality?
I know. That's pretty hilarious. It is kind of funny to have it in your life because definitely our last one, when, you know, we shared the clip, my manager definitely came up to me. He's like, I saw on your Instagram, you're talking about the president coming. And I was like, oh yeah, you follow me on Instagram.
Hey, we got a lot of views on that.
Again, I never say anything bad. It's all good. It's just funny when they come up to you. It's just funny. Because then you run through your mind like, shit, did I say something? No, like you know you didn't, but you're just overthinking. You're like, shit.
Or like, did Krysta say something back to me and I just like responded?
Yeah, like who knows, right? Like, I don't know, man. Like, this podcast has gotten us in hot water before, and I don't see, that was funny. We don't want to lose our jobs over it. We'll lose things, but
but not paid jobs.
But not jobs. We are willing to burn bridges, apparently, but the bridge was already burnt anyway.
It's fine.
That's still my favorite thing.
Let's not go back there.
That was like a hot minute for Discontinued Gravy. Anyway, Krysta, how are you?
Hey. Oh, Nick, I'm doing great. I'm not sure if I mentioned this, I have a rental car. It's a snazzy Volkswagen.
Oh, you finally got your rental car?
Oh, yeah. It's a Volkswagen, and it's like one of the newer ones. It has like Apple CarPlay and everything.
Volkswagen what?
They just discontinued it, though. It's a Prestige.
Passat?
It's a Passat, probably.
Passat.
That sounds about right.
Passat. That sounds right, yeah.
Yeah, but they just discontinued it for 2022. It's like the last year they're making that model. So.
Oh, interesting. Fun fact.
Yeah. Fun fact. But it's getting me around. It's great. I have no excuse to be late to work anymore, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Because beforehand, I was just like, well, I'm hitching rides or my fiance's driving me.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
I can't
true.
help if I'm 5 minutes late.
No. What can you do?
But now, if I'm 5 minutes late, it's my own fault.
It's your own fault.
Yeah, but I'm not used to not having HOV anymore, so maybe that's it.
That also sucks, yeah. But there's not really HOV in North Van, so I don't really have that problem.
Yeah, because you guys don't have enough lanes.
And it shows.
Yeah, absolutely. Where's the worst traffic in Vancouver? Probably North Van.
I think it actually is, statistically.
Represent. I don't know, Nick, though. It's one of those weeks that everything is just, like, pulling at you. Does that make sense?
Yes, Krysta, it makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense. Yes.
Nikki said that in such a way that I feel like I hit something. I hit deep.
I may be a little tired, Krysta. I've been doing a lot, Krysta. Like, Like I mentioned kind of last week, remember we were doing like, we got to get everything set up for Christmas. By the way, it barfed Christmas in the Home Depot. But basically, like all the stuff I had to clear and move and everything, I did.
Nick personally, one man show.
My legs hurt. My energy levels were shot. Like I went to help my friends move the other day because they rented a U-Haul. I drive, and I was like, I don't mind helping out. After doing all that lifting, I sure as heck did. My body was like, wow, I have zero energy here. This is great. I love it.
After the age of 30, you can't use your friends anymore for moving, so everyone has to use their time now.
Great. Well, I got a good couple of years left, I guess, but yeah, no, like it's just been like, oh, god damn, like I'm tired.
I feel like that's such a common thing during the dark months. Like all of a sudden, it's turned to Vancouver, and then as soon as it becomes really rainy, it's harder to have energy. It's so hard. It's raining for 2 weeks straight now.
Yeah. I guess weather does play a factor into the feeling, but I don't know. It's just the way it is, I guess. Like I actually enjoy the fall season. I don't mind the rain. Like I get it. Like, we can't go outside, but the excuse of staying inside and playing video games is a lot better now than it was, 2 months ago. But I don't know. I like the fall months. I think it's nice. I just hate how the things start so early. Like, we've been doing Halloween since like August, and now it's October 21st, and we already have all of Christmas up. Like, for example, today it was kind of funny. I got a little award for all that work I did. And they're like, oh, say something.
Ooh, Nick.
I know, pretty fancy. And they're like, I'm like, do you want me to say something? They're like, yeah, say something. And I was like, I hate it. It's October 21st. We have all this bullshit up. I'm sick of it. It's not time yet. I haven't had my birthday, my mom's birthday, my dad's birthday. We haven't even had those yet. So
you can't start Christmas till after Remembrance Day.
I just full on shat on Christmas. And look, it's too early. And yeah, so like maybe that's why the little bah humbugism, but I think mostly it's my tiredness, and I don't know if it has anything to do with the weather, because frankly I do not hate this weather.
Yeah, but Nick, I do understand what you mean. I went into HomeSense looking for like a silk pillowcase type of thing,
Right.
something simple, quick in and out, and I was like, maybe I'll pick up a few fall decor. I've moved into a new place. I didn't bring any of my decorations with me. I used to be an events manager.
Yes.
My favorite thing to do was to put little decorations everywhere.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll just pick up one or two nice things, because we don't have a lot of space. I can't keep this stuff. So one or two little nice things to put around, and then I'll buy a pumpkin for the front.
There you go.
I go in there. Nothing.
You're late.
All Christmas.
You're late.
All Christmas stuff.
You're
no
late.
Halloween.
You're late.
How am I late? Halloween hasn't even happened yet.
You're 2 weeks out. You're too late. All we have are 4 boxes of the Bone Throne. That is all we have left.
Ooh, Bone Throne. That sounds interesting.
It's, the sword throne from Game of Thrones?
Yes.
It's like the plastic bone version of that. If it came out 3 years ago, would have been a hot seller. It did not, and here we are. But
it's still sitting on the shelf.
bottom line, you're late, and I could have told you that.
Okay, but I don't even have my Halloween costume yet.
Neither do I, and I'm organizing a whole Halloween costume contest at the depot, and I don't even have mine yet. So we're running out of time here, Krysta.
I was gonna be offended. I thought you were gonna say that you're having a Halloween party, and I'm like, I'm not invited.
I mean, feel free to come to the depot.
I totally would though, dressed up.
Halloween's on a Sunday.
Yeah, it is, which is odd, but I mean, better than during the week.
I mean, yes and no. Sucks for me because my birthday's now on a Tuesday. Can't celebrate.
Is that how you tell when your birthday is when Halloween is?
Well, then I know when the parties happen. If Halloween's on a Saturday, guess what? I'm not celebrating my birthday until the next week. If Halloween's on a Wednesday, my birthday's on a Friday. like, like I could celebrate my birthday on the 3rd, not the frickin' 13th.
These are things that you need to consider when your birthday's near a holiday. Huh.
Yes, yes, it's weird, isn't it? But you know what? I know people on their birthdays on Christmas, and I'm okay with where I'm at anyway.
Yeah, out of all of the birthdays that it could have fallen on, I think it's all right.
I do not hate it. Do not hate it at all.
But anyways, I think we were trying to get to a point in all of this, besides exhausting yourself by putting up all the decor 2.5 months early.
Yeah, putting all the stuff way too early is that we're tired, and we seem to just pile it on rather than taking a break.
Okay, but why do we do that to ourselves? Why do we spread ourselves so thin that you can't take a break? And I mean, this as society in a whole, right? We can't have a break between Halloween and Christmas. No. We have to be prepared for the next holiday that far in advance.
Well, it's true. I mean, think about it. You have Halloween, then about a week later you have Remembrance Day, and then after that there's American Thanksgiving that we do not celebrate in Canada, but yes, we celebrate Black Friday and Cyber Monday.
Oh, yeah, we do.
But that is the unofficial start to Christmas shopping, and the next 2 weeks is Christmas, right? Like, you can't... it's always on your mind. You're busy. This is what happens. The parties start happening. It gets busy at work, blah, 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 blah. I think...
But are we having parties this year?
I mean...
Do we know? Last year we got out of all of them.
Well, we can this year. I mean, vaccine passports are a thing. But, like, it's just... I think, the idea of, like, the grind and the hustle... I think that's almost becoming a negative. Because,
Sorry, go ahead.
No, just think about it. Like, we're glorifying the grind. Like famous people who somehow made millions of dollars over their stupid idea are like, man, I just grinded and hustled every day, put in the work, put in 24 hours a day, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, great. It worked for you. But for 99% of us, that doesn't work. I don't have that. I can't function. It's impossible for me to function. I will be worse on, I can sleep 3 hours and work an 8-hour shift and do something after. I can do it. God forbid me doing that more than once. If I slept for that 3 hours, I'm toast for the rest of the week. Like, guys, like people are human. Why are we glorifying, oh man, I worked 40 hours this week, but then I went and hung out with some friends this day. I went to the hockey game this time. I played sports this day. I went this, I did that. It's like, why? Okay.
But also, why is it not even working 40 hours a week and then having a slight social life? It's, oh, you know what? I worked 75 hours. I don't have time for a social life. I just grind the whole time. That's not good either. You should have a balance. Well, we're trying to figure that out.
Well, that's the thing. And I think I do a really good job of like the social versus the job thing. But there is a point where being social and the job thing become too much. Like, say, I mean, you have 2 days off per week. Most times, most jobs, your weekend, whatever day that is. And so you try to plan your things around that day, right? Like, like if your friends want to hang out, like, oh, I'm free this day all day. So, if they're free in the middle of the day, you can do that day, but you couldn't do it on your regular job. But if it's not that, then you're working 8 hours and then seeing them afterward for an hour or two. You've been up since 7 a.m. and now you're out of the house without, really sitting down for 10 hours.
But the funny part is that, so the average person works a 40-hour work week.
Yes.
Right? That's like kind of the standard that's set in society. But the funny part is that was created by Ford? Because they decided that there was an optimal amount of time to work and then have to be home with the family.
Yeah, right. That made sense.
But why did they come up with that number anyways in the first place? How did they even come up with that?
Yeah, I mean, it was an idea. It's worked forever. I'm on the bandwagon of 4-day work week, and it's clear it works. Like, there's
Italy.
Italy, Finland. There's even a province I think did it, or something like that. Like, people are doing it, and it's clearly works. That's a topic for another day. But, you know, you spread too thin. Like, I think we talked about it. You know that Yes Man episode we did? We're
Yes
both
Man.
those people. Like, you know, when your friend asks you to hang out, you're not going to say no, and I'm not going to say no. And it's not a matter of I don't want to hang out with these people. I do. That's why I say yes. It's not just being like, I guess I haven't seen you in a while. I guess I should. It's more like, yeah, hell yeah, I want to hang out with you. But in the long run, it does take a toll. And at some point, you got to put the hammer down and be like, honestly, just be like, oh, sorry, I'm busy that day. You're not busy. You're sitting on the couch.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like people get offended by that, right?
They could.
They're like, oh, why didn't he come hang out with me today? He's sitting on the couch playing video games.
I mean, more and more often, I mean, you could call it a mental health day, really. But, you know, we need breaks. Like, you know, social interaction, especially if your job is to be social, you know, like, I mean, retail, even like being, you know, if you were like a full-time like podcast host, like you got to put a face on, right? Like we get better. Like you could argue right now when we got on here, I was tired as fuck. I was barely talking.
I mean, it was an effort.
You know, but once we get into it, it's fine. But we have to put on this face, and everybody has to do it for your job. You know what I mean? You know, when you walk through the door, the switch turns on. But it's hard to do that constantly.
Yeah, it takes a toll on everyone.
It really does. Because especially when you do that, and then when you're not like that, they're like, oh, what's wrong? Are you okay? And you're like, because I'm kind of like this normally. Now
Yeah.
I'm not okay. And you say like, oh, I'm fine. They're like, oh, you're just different. It's like, tired as fuck.
Yeah, leave me alone. I get it. I get that I'm tired. Don't point that out. Don't remind me. I'm trying my best.
Yeah, I don't know, but like, how do you justify it though to the people? Just like, do you just be straight up, be like, yo, I just need a day. Can we plan this some other time? Like, you know, the whole rain check thing, like, kind of awkward, but sometimes you don't even realize that you're tired. You plan this, you know, weeks in advance, and then you get to the day and you're like, I've been working my ass off. I really don't want to do this today.
Exactly. So when I went to Whistler the other weekend, I was so tired, and my car was kind of like on the fritz, and I was like, I could totally blame my car right now and be like, you know, transmission problems, can't come.
Yep.
You know? But there was the part of me that's like, I need to make an effort for this friend. I don't get to see them that much.
Yep.
You know, and they went out of their way to invite me. I have to do this. But why am I putting this pressure on myself? I'm sure they would have understood.
No, 100%.
And why am I trying to come up with an excuse? I should be able to just say no.
Well, that's also an interesting thing. Like, why does the mind immediately go to, like, you need an excuse? You know what I mean? Like, why can't you just be straight up with people? It's something I'm getting better at. But, you know, you always feel like you need to, when you say you're busy, you need to have this glorified reason as to why you're busy.
Yeah, it has to top any reason of why you were going to go to the thing in the first place. It has to be, like, an extreme.
Yeah, but I think we can all say, you know, you mentioned like, oh, I'm having the transmission problem. I think we can all say, whether it was your job, hanging with somebody, you've woken up and just said, not today, Satan. And you like sit there for a good 5 minutes being like, I could easily just call in sick. I could easily just tell this person I'm feeling ill. You know what I mean? Like, it's a little harder now with COVID because then they're all like, but
yeah, because then you're like, oh crap, do I have to take
you got to find
before I
something
go back?
You got to find something that's not COVID related, like food poisoning. But you know, like we've all had that thought. And
I mean, sometimes you just you show up 5 minutes too late and you're like, they're lucky I showed up today.
Well, exactly, right? Like, you're just like, yeah. They're like, oh, you're a little late. You're like, you're lucky I'm here.
Yeah, that's what you're thinking. I mean, you're not going to say it, but they
Well,
have no idea what you're going through, right?
it's
They don't
true.
know that you're having one of those days or maybe one of those weeks.
And for a lot of people, we've talked about, taking time off. A lot of people can't take the time off. And we kind of talked about it in the burnout thing. That's when it kind of becomes a long stretch. But just overexerting yourself, like, we're talking more of like everything, like the social, the things, the this, like, oh, I needed to do this today. It's like, even just like stuff, even if it has to do with friends, like, oh, I needed to do laundry today. Then I had to cook dinner. Like, again, your 8-hour day turns into a full 16-hour day and you haven't had a chance to just sit down.
Yeah, and that's all you want to do.
Exactly.
But it's so funny because you try to reason things, right? You're like, okay, well, as long as I get this amount of sleep, I can technically do all of those other things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you try to fit something in on your lunch break, and then it starts going to the extreme, right? And then you go to the point where you're telling someone about it, and you're setting the scene. You're driving your way home. Maybe you're on the phone with your mom, talking about a busy day that you had at work, and then that someone wants to have a meeting with you during your lunch break tomorrow, but you can't fathom it because you're like, I need that lunch break. I'm going to be so hangry.
Yep.
That you're almost in tears when the person's like, well, you can miss one lunch break. No, Mom.
No.
And don't get me wrong. Like, I've worked through my lunch break before when you really have to. I think everyone's done that before. It sucks. It's not fun. But what do you do about it after, right? You don't tell your manager that, like, well, I missed my lunch break today, so, like, I get an extra one tomorrow.
Yeah. No. That doesn't,
Like,
doesn't
no,
work, like, doesn't
no,
work like that.
you suck it up.
Yeah, it sucks to suck.
Yeah, like, yeah, maybe you will get paid more. So, like, maybe you'll get paid for that half an hour. Maybe, depending on your work environment.
Yeah.
And then why is it that we always feel like other people can take that time, but we can't? It's like main character syndrome or something.
Yeah, it's true.
Because
it's a good point.
It applies to them, but doesn't apply to me.
Well, I guess it's kind of, I guess it depends on the personality, but it's like when you see that other person, they've just kind of blown off their shifts, whether it's for a good reason or not. Then you feel like, oh, I can't do that to them. You know what I mean? Like now you have to be the one to carry it. Like, you can't both take the time off and screw them over. Like, that's the feeling I get when somebody, isn't able to come in, again, whether it's a good reason or not. Like, I could easily just be like, I'm not coming in, but like, I can't do this to them. I can't do this to my manager. I can't do this to this. I can't do this for that. Like, you need to put the work in because you don't want to screw them over.
Yeah, but is it because we don't think they won't understand? Like, honestly, most of the time they'd probably understand in the end. Like, yeah, it's going to be a really busy work day, but at that point, it's already going to be a busy work day. We're already one man down.
Like, I think they would understand. Some won't.
Yeah, some won't. If you're ever worked in the service industry, you definitely would not.
But I personally would feel bad. You know what I mean? Like, I feel bad calling in sick even when I'm literally sick. You know what I mean?
I've never called in sick before. I mean, that's probably going to change now with COVID.
Just so wild to me. You've mentioned that before. That's like, how? Like,
I've only not shown up to work 2 times, I believe, from what I can remember.
That's crazy.
My whole working life, I've been working since I was 15.
Like, I'll admit, I haven't done it a ton.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get sick all that often. But it happens. I think I've done it at least every job at least once or twice.
Well, I mean, because everyone has that notion that you have to be, like, throwing up basically,
Yeah.
or on the toilet. It's one or the other. And most people are preferring you to say that you're throwing up, but the other one happens too, people, especially if it's food poisoning.
It's very true. Side note, my favorite one was back at Rona. There was a Thursday night football thing for the NFL, and it was coming to Vancouver, and Sean Alexander, my favorite running back, was going to be there signing jerseys, and I have his jersey. And I was like, I booked the time off. My manager's like, oh, we couldn't, I don't know what happened, but they couldn't do it. I was like, oh, man, that sucks. So what did I do? Faked an injury. I said I sprained my ankle running, and then I was in the doctor's office, so I couldn't come in. What did I do? Went to the football thing, got my jersey signed.
Okay, but you've only done that once.
Yeah, if you know me, I don't run.
But also you requested that time off, so very suspicious.
You want to know what's also funny? The next day, I was pushing like a pallet with one of the assistant managers, or the assistant manager that picked up the call. And he literally, I'd kind of been faking a limp, you know what I mean? I was doing well. And he's like, oh, watch out for your ankle. And I was like, got him.
Nick, you sneaky bastard.
Yeah, I think that one can be out there now. But my point is, like, anyway, side note from this, it's still like, that wasn't more of a I'm stretched too thin moment. But it could have been if I was freaking tired.
But at the same time, I feel like if I had to call in for a mental health day, or like because I'm feeling stretched too thin, I feel like I would have to justify doing that by canceling anything I had planned that weekend.
Right.
If I can't do work, that means I can't do anything.
Right.
You can't do and that's not true either.
Yeah, you can't do the one day. You gotta do. Yeah, I get that. Like, it's like, yeah, you'll do that. That'll happen, and then your weekend comes off, and you like won't post to Instagram because somebody might see it.
Oh, I have blocked people. Like, I have hid my stories from them, knowing that I'm like, I can't have them see this right now.
Yo, I respect though.
Yeah. Anyone who doesn't know, if you don't want to block someone, but you don't want them to see what you're doing, and you might be posting to like Snapchat or Instagram.
Yeah.
Just, a little bit of a mute stories, hide story.
Yeah, it really doesn't take that long.
I'm going to be honest. I literally did that today because my fiance's mother, so my soon-to-be mother-in-law, we're going to go get facials together. And they booked it. I was not the one who booked it.
Yeah.
It's my first facial I'm ever getting done, so I'm excited.
Oh.
It's kind of like a late birthday present for her that I get to be involved in.
Okay.
But I have a friend who's been because she just became she started to work for SCOA, or a facial company. I might be saying the wrong one. And she's like, you need to come for a facial. And I was like, oh, sorry, dude, I can't afford it because my car. And at that time, I didn't know if I was going to have a rental car or what was going to be happening.
Yeah.
So I was like, sorry, I can't right now. And she's like, well, when you can, make it work. And I'm like, Kate. I mean, I was the one who booked it.
Yeah, that's awkward. It's tough, but
yeah, and like the person who we're going to is just like she's just started her own business doing it type of thing. So
right.
And like she's like a family friend, so I feel like I need to support it by posting it possibly. So I just was preemptive 2 days before. Hid the story, and if you're listening right now, I'm so sorry. But I did this to protect you, and you can call me out.
Funny, can you please? That would be so funny.
That'd be so funny. I'll issue a recall next week,
That's
and I'll have a GoFundMe to go get a facial done by you.
Yeah, this is not a bridge we want to burn, but
you can't be mad at me with a bunny in my arms.
That's like in Wreck-It Ralph when King Candy says, "You wouldn't hit a guy with glasses." Then he takes the glasses and hits him with the glasses, and he's like, "Oh, you hit me with glasses." I'm clever. Anyway, no, it's just that's a tough line you are in, but
yeah. Sorry, that was just a side note because I'm anxious over this now. This is a lie I'm going to have to live and die in now. And I'm so good at remembering my lies.
See, that is a struggle. But anyway, that's for another time. How do you combat? Like, how do you, like, plan it? Like, people ask you when you're free, and you're like, oh, I'm free this day. And then, the calendar starts to fill up. How do you maybe not, just be like, remember to be like, this day here, don't do anything with this day. Don't say this is your next day free. They don't know.
Can you physically block that in your calendar? So, like, I'm the type of person that, like, if I make plans, like, I made a plan with a buddy next Friday at the beginning of October.
Right.
So, technically, you could do the same thing, right? You could literally block off a Friday night or Saturday, whatever you need to, and say me time from 8 a.m. to 12 a.m.
The whole day.
The whole time, And then when someone asks you, are you free? You go to look at your calendar. It's blocked off. But how do you justify that?
It's a me day. Shut up.
it's a me day. And that's the thing, because
day.
if you just tell someone you're busy already, prefacing you're busy, they're probably not going to ask you what you're busy doing.
Oh, yeah. Oftentimes they won't just be like, oh, sorry, I'm busy that day. As long as you offer up a follow-up day, like, oh, sorry, I'm already busy that day. Can we do this day? That will help ensure it even more, because then they won't ask what you're doing. They may ask what you were doing that time when you hang out. But by that time, you should have something figured out.
Yeah, and I mean, you should be good enough friends that, like, it doesn't actually matter.
Also,
but...
you have a kind of handy one. You'd be like, oh, sorry, me and the fiance are going to do something. Me, it's just like, what the fuck? I'm like, sorry, I was watching football.
But it's so true, Nick. It's football. Before we got on, Nick was like, oh, okay, watching hockey.
I was like, it's connecting. I think go down.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's funny because we've actually talked about that. He's like, I can't wait till, like, we're married and I can just be like, gotta check with the wife. Yeah. That means he doesn't actually want to do it,
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, like, that's the kind of signal of, like, like, I don't want to do this, so I'm going to check with the wife, and she's going to be like, no, oh, darn. Tough cookies.
Tough cookie, honey.
But I do like the idea of actually putting it in your calendar, like, me time. Like, I don't know. Like, I forget to put things in my calendar. I've started to do it because of one little mishap that I had with overbooking myself. I usually just put my work schedule in just to, see what days I'm off kind of thing. But now I feel like I need to start actually putting in, like, I'm hanging with friends into my calendar. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think especially since, like, your schedule's pretty constant, but it can still change. But it's nice to see at a glance, right? Like, no one actually wants to put anything in their calendar, but it's nice to see it there. It's like, oh, there's a small event. You don't actually have to click into it.
That's true. Yep.
But it's one of those things that for your friend, like, what's more important at the end of the day to you? You'll justify them, right? You'll be like, but it's my friends. I need to socialize with them. I need to see them. I love them.
Yep.
But is that enough?
Like,
because
for your own personal...
we have other obligations you have to do.
See, from the aspect of me, that's like the balance of, work and life. Like, yes, like, it's justified, to see your friends and do the things. Because, I mean, like, what else would you be doing? Like, if you weren't working, what would you be doing? Watching Netflix? Disney Plus? Like,
but that's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing, but when a friend, I feel like I would feel bad knowing that that's happening right now, and I'm here. Like, if it was a group thing, I might not be it'd be like, okay, they got other people, it's fine. But if it was like a one-on-one thing and they're also just chilling out, it's kind of like, oh, they wanted to do something tonight. But is that your fault?
I mean, at least it's not like a case of FOMO, because the group hang thing,
True.
That's just FOMO, dude.
Fair enough.
That's not a good enough reason. But the friend who's perhaps lonely, wanted to hang out and you said no. I mean, there's a fine line because you can't do that all the time, right? Because you're going to start closing in on yourself.
Yeah.
And not be able to do anything. Every little thing's going to feel like such a chore or a task. So I'm not suggesting that you give up all those things, because when you do have to see your friends or family or want to see them, you're probably not going to do it as frequently. And that's not a good thing either.
Yeah. Well, it's all just kind of not good at all. I mean, like, even like I live with my parents. They haven't seen me in like a week or two. Like, for a long stretch of time. You know what I mean? Like, I'm showing up as they're going to bed. You know, like, I wake up early to go to work. They're not up yet. You know what I mean? Like, it's like I don't see them. I'm too busy.
But family dinners are the perks of living at home.
They sure are. I am not utilizing that right now.
That's so sad.
I'm busy, Krysta. I'm doing all these things with all these people. And work.
Family, Nick. It goes family, work, friends. Perhaps. I don't know. I'm reconsidering my diagram right now.
That's a good question. But look, I'll admit, like, I've been spreading myself too thin, and I would think anybody knows that.
Yeah.
I think it's just waiting it out and finding the time to put it, like, figure out a stopping point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's like that meme that goes around, right? It's like there's 5 things and it's like pick 3. And they're all equally all valued things.
Yeah.
But that's life, right? You have to either make the time sometimes for some things and then more time for other things.
It's true. And I'm just looking at my calendar right now. My next complete day off where I'm not doing a thing would be my birthday.
Are you gonna, Nick, do nothing?
I mean, it's my birthday, so it's gonna be busy in that sense. But at this juncture, I'm gonna be playing video games at home.
So that's like a week and a half that you're going strong.
I have things planned, but my next Tuesday and Wednesday are not chock block full. They are things.
You fitting me in.
I have plenty of time for Krysta every week.
I know. You fit me in no matter what, even if it's last minute.
Yeah, no, we're fine here. I'll never spread myself too thin with the podcast, even though sometimes I am too tired to come on. Today was one of them. I was almost falling asleep.
Well, I did push it a little late. I'm sorry.
That's all right. I was expecting it. I planned for this to be.
You know this.
You've
known this. You could have gone out at episode 10, because that's what we made a promise when we started this podcast. Nick and I said that we had to get 10 episodes out.
It's true. And now we're at episode 64. The fuck happened? But yeah, no, it's just like, it's the things, and I enjoy doing them. But now I have to edit the podcast, and that kind of sucks. But
you're just such a social person, Nick. People like being around you. It's not a bad thing.
I mean, you're right. It's not a bad thing.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I don't really know what to say to that.
Yeah. It's one of those things that, like, I'm kind of jealous. Like, yeah, I have friends and, like, I have things to do, but I don't feel like I'm seeing friends as much as you do. Does that make sense?
It's weird because I never used to see friends at all. Weirdly enough, this pandemic has just opened the doors.
Oh my gosh, is that it? Are we overloading ourselves because we couldn't do anything during the pandemic? So now we're like, give me all the things because I don't know if this is going to be taken away.
Firm believer that yes.
Wow. Yeah, actually, me too.
Like, it just happened. That's the way we've been in. We did nothing for so long. Now it's like, get all the hangouts you can, do all the things you can now.
Yeah. I mean, it's the inside things, honestly. For me, my life didn't change that much because I was working so much I wasn't seeing anyone
Well,
anyways.
facts.
Pre-pandemic, and then during the pandemic I was still working so much I wasn't seeing anyone.
Facts.
Now I don't work as much, and I see a little bit of people, so that's enough.
Why don't we hang out?
It's just we're not even that far. We're only 35 minutes from each other now.
Not even, man. On a good traffic day, not even.
Dude, it's because every time I'm like, I have to go see my Oma if I go see you.
Well, I could come up that way.
Oh my god, do you want to meet my Oma?
No, I mean,
she would love you. She'd be a little confused.
I mean, your
She's
way.
like, why do you have 2 men in your life?
It'd be like that waiter.
Yeah, actually, that's so funny.
No, I mean your way. That side of the bridge.
I mean, the only thing near me is the breweries, though.
Yeah, but you could. Well, no, you got that good pizza place.
Yeah,
But
I'll break my diet
you
and
can't
have
do
pizza.
That. You can't do that. It's a place I go to with my other friend Krysta.
Okay. Whatever. So Nick and I aren't gonna make time for each other in person. It's fine.
It's kind of funny. We make time for each other every week, but not doing something social.
You're
it's
the
this
one
podcast.
constant person I see, Nick.
It's kind of funny because technically you are too. Like,
Right? Like guaranteed once a week for like 2 to 3 hours.
yeah.
I see you.
Like other than work, which doesn't count, like social life, Krysta is the person I've seen the most during this like last year and a half.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, are we internet friends?
I mean, I guess by
I guess definition.
yeah, like definite. Like we didn't meet on the internet,
Okay, yeah, I think that's the conjoining part.
but for real, we should actually like hang out. What's your schedule like next week?
Okay, I just need to put in my me day first.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Exactly. Okay. well,
Actually, let's both do that right now. Let's pick a day that we're just gonna schedule off on our calendar, or evening, even. Like if Nick, it's too far advanced in your future, book off an evening.
Okay. Okay, I'm booking off the evening of Tuesday, the 26th. Oh wait, no, I just realized.
Of November 26th?
No, that's my mother's birthday. No, October.
All right. Okay, Tuesday. Okay, I will book off. I mean, I pretty much have most of my evenings booked off, except I'm still doing things. I'm a little almost housewife. I make dinner. I work on my computer doing things that are important. I go to the gym. I'm just gonna book off Saturday the 6th of November.
Ah, it's a good day. I'm busy that day. Come to the hockey game.
Hockey.
Okay.
Okay.
Day.
Done. And I hope everyone took the moment with us, because Nick and I took a long time doing that to do that
honestly.
themselves.
Yeah. So, me day. Book it.
We christened the me day.
Me day. We should start like a national holiday. A national.
Oh my gosh.
A national me day
Next post.
where you don't do anything. Is this the teaser? Marker.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Me day.
It's a me day, and it's going to be a national holiday where...
I mean, this is how national holidays start.
I mean, one of those, not like national holidays where we get the day off, like, like International Day of Pancakes kind of shit.
Oh, yeah, or boyfriend day or something.
Yeah,
like
you know
that.
what I mean? Like, this is a me day, and everybody's employed to do nothing that day. No hanging with friends. It's a you day. Well, I guess me day implies doing something you want to do. So I guess you could hang out with friends if that's what you wanted to do.
But it has to be what you really want to.
Yeah, it's what the heart wants.
We've made this so complicated.
Way more complicated than it needs to be. That's the discontinued gravy guarantee.
That's a great spot to end, I'm not going to lie.
Let's move it forward then.
Okay.
Okay.
I almost said the wrong one. I would just like to say, questions of the week.
You know, I've put up with that for like 64 weeks in a row, roughly.
I have not done like a ASMR type thing for like a good 20 episodes, so
Yeah.
give me a break.
That was weird. Stop. That's not good. No. Okay.
It brings
There's questions
me
of
so
the week.
much joy.
You ask these things. We answer these things.
Okay, you ready?
Yes, Krysta.
Dear Nick and Krysta, a friend recently told me that I was the messiest person they know. I don't know how to feel about that. What do you think I should do about it? I kind of hurt my feelings. Aw.
Okay, messy in what sense? Like, are you messy in the, like, you get stains all the time? Or, like, messy, like, your room's never clean, the pots are
Or
in the
like
dishes?
hygiene.
Ooh. That's the
Yeah,
worst
like it
one.
depends, right?
The hygiene one's the worst one, and I'm assuming they're not talking about that.
Yeah, if they ever said that, then that's like, screw you, dude.
Yeah.
Didn't you rub your BO on them?
Yes, you do that. I mean, I guess the thing to do is, like, I don't know, look inward. You know what I mean? Like, ask yourself, are you messy? What is it? Like, you know, like, I'm sure they meant it kind of as a joke, you know, like, oh my God, dude, you're like the messiest person I know. You know, like, but, you know, I don't know. I think this is one of those things, just, you hate it, but look inward and see what you find. Maybe you think he's just a bullshit. If that's what you found, that's fine. But I don't know. Like, it's just it's take it with a grain of salt.
Honestly, dude, I relate. My sisters say I'm the messiest person they know. Like, but besides probably their boyfriends.
Siblings are different, though.
Siblings are different, and also, like, they're type A personalities. A type A personality is gonna think that anything is messy.
True.
Like, my fiance actually had to protect me, not protect me, but like brought up the other night at a family dinner, Thanksgiving dinner, I believe. They were making fun of me because they're like, oh, Krysta can never clean, blah, blah. And he's like, no, Krysta cleans all the time. Like, she's always doing the dishes and sweeping and doing things. Like, what are you talking about?
That's a stand-up guy
Yeah,
right there.
that's right, because you don't live with me. And they're like, oh, maybe things have changed since she moved out. Yeah, I'm an adult now. Things change, you know? Moral of the story, you do you. If you start thinking that you're messy, yeah, maybe fix that up a little bit. But Nick's right. Like, look inwards. If there's truth to it, you know, figure that out. But no one actually knows how messy you are unless they live with you currently.
These are facts. Could just be a bad day.
Mm-hmm. Discontinued gravy facts.
Knowledge.
Great. Okay, Nick, do you have any?
No, I don't have any this week.
Yeah. Okay, that's all I picked for this week. Okay. Recommendations of the week, everyone.
I've been doing this for 64 episodes with you, Krysta, and I did not expect that either.
Yeah, it kind of hurt. It hurt my soul.
Well, that's good, but it was good.
Okay, can I go first?
You absolutely go first.
Yay. Okay, so this is an odd request, but I have a challenge this week as my recommendation. It's a challenge. I'm challenging all Discontinued Gravy listeners right now, all of you Kurds, to do a sorta like detox from like dopamine, you know, like the emotion that like you get when something makes you happy. Because we're so conditioned now that every little thing needs to keep our attention by small amounts of dopamine. That's how social media works, right? The small little heart, something that you like, something that catches your attention, right? To find out if you actually need to, like, take a step back, I challenge you to sit and stare at a wall for half an hour. And then every time your mind wanders away from that wall or you start fidgeting, looking away, you know you need to start back over. This challenge is originally an hour long. I cannot even get close to an hour, so I've shortened it for the Discontinued Gravy listeners to be half an hour.
So,
and I don't mean laying in bed. I don't mean laying in bed being like, I can't sleep, stare at a wall.
So what you're saying is, stare at a wall, or could I look at the landscape?
No, it has to be something boring like a wall.
So I look at a wall for half an hour.
And you can't be looking around like... You know how, like, everyone, like, when you were a kid, you'd, like, count the dots on, like, your roof or something?
Okay. So... So if you're like me and have attention problems, that's not going to work.
Do you want to know if you have ADD? Do this.
Because, yeah, no, I can't do that. But it's worth a shot, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. I believe it's supposed to be like a type of meditation originally, because it's like bringing your attention back to something.
I get it.
But it's more of just a challenge because we're so... I couldn't do an hour.
Oh, God, no.
God, no. That sounds excruciating.
I don't even know if I could do a minute. Like, I'm someone that has a baseball mitt in my room with, like, a really soft ball that I throw at a pillow while I'm watching TV.
Jeez. You don't just sit and watch?
Not always.
Oh, man. Anyways.
It's a good recommendation. I don't know if I could do it, but...
Yeah, try it out. Let me know if you try it and how far you get. Maybe you get 10 minutes. Great. Maybe you do it 2 hours. Damn.
The fact that I can't have my eyes wandering, I think, just derails the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, like, of course you can, like, look around the wall and stuff, but your main focus is to stare at the wall.
Fair.
Okay.
Cool.
That's your challenge, if you choose to accept it.
A challenge on Discontinued Gravy. I think that's the first. Well done. My recommendation is I'm currently watching a show. It's on Disney Plus. It is called The League. And basically follows these group of friends that have a fantasy football league and how it intertwines with their life. If you know me, I'm not really one of those live action sitcom kind of people. I don't know if I'd call this a sitcom.
Does it have a laugh track?
It does not.
Okay, then maybe it's not a sitcom.
Sitcoms
have laugh tracks.
Yeah, this is it's comedy. It's funny. It's funny as hell. Mm-hmm. I feel like you'll enjoy it more if you know football because it's, it is football based. They have football jokes and they talk about players and it's funny. But I think even if you didn't watch football, you'd still find it funny. Like you would get what they're insinuating kind of thing. It's a little, what is it? It's like one of those 2010 shows. You know what I mean? A little raunchy. It's I don't know if you know anybody.
Wait, what do you mean by 2010? It came out in 2010?
Yeah, like around that time.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I was like, I haven't seen any new shows on there that I haven't watched. So
yeah, no, it's like, it's older, but it's got 7 seasons. I'm only on like season 3, but it's really funny nonetheless. I do recommend The League on Disney Plus. Just even if you don't like football, just give it a try. I'm dying of laughter, and I think it's funny. And nobody of note, although Nick Kroll, I don't know if you know who he is. He's in the main cast. Everyone else I've never seen. One of them's Canadian. Seth Rogen is in one episode that I just watched. That was a weird-ass episode.
But that's also the problem with doing a TV show that's like 7 seasons long, is that they probably had hard times doing other things after.
Maybe, yeah, true. Like I don't know. One guy, one of the main characters is like more of a director than an actor, so I don't know. Anyway, The League, Disney Plus, watch it. It's hilarious, and if you love football, even better.
You hear that, folks? Get some football and get some challenges in.
Yeah. After you finish that challenge, watch The League.
Or watch the league, then start the wall. You can choose the order, but just do both.
This is true. Just do one and then the other. That's all we're asking of you.
Absolutely. Thanks for listening, guys.
We'll be back at it again with more Discontinued Gravy next week.
Talk to you later.
Peace.